Masters event, which is also a part of the US Open Series here in Toronto. Started a couple of weeks ago, and it went through Indianapolis, at least in the men's section of the US Open Series. And it heads to the US Open, and if you play well enough in the US Open Series, then up in the top 3 you get bonus money at the Open. So these tournaments now connected to the 4th Grand Slam of the year. Andy Roddick is the number 2 seed, and if he had won the US Open Series last year, if there was an Open Series, he would have won it. And then by winning the Open, he would have got another 50% of his prize money. So he had another $500,000 at least to his bank account. Meanwhile, Brad Gilbert is his coach, and we had him up here yesterday. Interesting guy, fascinating to talk to. A sports fan, not just tennis fan.
Andy Roddick.
Lauren Bedford there, Andy's girlfriend, making an appearance up north. She was also down in Indianapolis.
Roddick to serve.
Impressive start for this youngster, the 22-year-old, 6'2". Lives in Madrid now. Had a great year for him, 17 and 18.
15.
But he's got some game, this youngster, particularly off that serve and the forehand side.
30-15.
It's a really similar style of game to Andy Roddick, just not as good. I don't think he moves as well. His backhand side not as solid as Roddick's. He uses mostly that slice as he tried there.
Then that would not make him a typical Spanish clay courter.
No, he's not.
Roddick style.
Well, he likes the fast courts, and his most success has come at Wimbledon.
Roddick.
Grew up with Tommy Robredo, another Spaniard in Barcelona.
First game.
For Andy Roddick, he born in Nebraska, then he grew up in Austin, Texas, alongside his 2 brothers. And then the family moved to South Florida, Boca Raton. Marty Fish joined him at his home for a while. They used to go to school together there. But he is back in Austin. His love for the hill country of Texas never waned. But he spends a heck of a lot of time there, but he's got his own place there now, close to his 2 brothers.
Approach by Roddick there, going right at the backhand wing of Lopez early. Lopez lost a tough match in the 3rd round of Wimbledon this year to Ivo Karlovic. Tight 4-setter. Oh, nice. A chip winner. How about that? Don't see that too often.
15.
Players working the ball, not going for too much, trying to set each other up. And then Lopez, look what I found. Slice winner up the line. Like that match Lopez played with Karlovic this year at Wimbledon, there was 1 break of serve in the 4 sets. Karlovic won it 7-6, 7-6, 6-7, 7-5.
15-13.
Lopez trained with Spanish Federation until he was 18, about 4 years ago, and then he decided to leave the federation and went off with a sort of splinter group of coaches and players. A lot of the Spaniards do that over the years as they get a little bit older.
Extraordinarily successful 14 of the top 100 players in the world are Spanish. Every time you check a European clay court result, 3 of the 4 semi-finalists are there from Spain.
Or Argentina these days, the way those guys are playing on the red stuff.
14-13.
Some action on that serve. A big one from Lopez, 132 miles per hour.
Loosey-goosey serve too. He's a tall guy and he just leans into it. This. Too tough. And he holds.
Well, when you have a loose arm, a live arm, as
One game.
we like to call it, and you're 6'2", that means you're going to win a lot of easy games on your serve. Lopez showing some good hands at the net there. First tournament on hard court this summer for Lopez, playing a couple of clay court tournaments in Europe after Wimbledon.
Played at the Pacific Life last year, won by Roddick. It's the only time they've met.
Did a good job against the Spaniards. Of course, he hasn't seen him too much on clay, so that helps. Be a little tougher for Roddick on that court against the pigeons for him on hard courts.
Exactly what he's trying to say. A little loose, maybe. That wrist with that movement there. Tighten up. I guess as good as mine, maybe. Frankly, loose is Lopez's game. Something to hit and go for it. Grip it and rip it.
Second service.
Lopez able to control the showing some good movement there. And on the move, Roddick a little sluggish coming forward there.
Yeah, Roddick.
Sluggish about that serve, though.
On serve, 2-1 first set.
Today we'll now take on Max Mirny, who won a 3-setter over Parador and Srichaphan. First point here to Lopez.
15-0.
That's what we're looking at. Federer, Mirny, Hewitt. An impressive win over Novak, easily 2-1. He waits for the Lubicic Santoro winner. At the moment, it's Santoro won the first. They're on serve in the second.
Second match here on Stadium Court. More surprising, Andre Agassi going out.
30-15.
30-15 here at 2-1 Roddick.
difference between their two forehands as well. I mean, Lopez gets a good spin on the forehand, but he doesn't really hit through it that well. Certainly not nearly as well as Andy Roddick can do. That means he's got to work the ball a little bit more once he gets into the rallies. As Roddick can do both. He can hit with heavy topspin, and he can also step in and flatten it out. So volley play from the Spaniard.
Lopez holds easily. It is 2 apiece in the first set this weekend. 80.
Here, Mr. Bob Rosberg, I'm one of the announcers over there. We've got Junior here, our world famous director of tennis.
Rossi.
Yeah, covering the whole deal.
30 love.
40 love.
Listen, Rossi is a huge tennis fan, and you got to tell it like it is. He figured out that this Roger Federer was going to be a great player.
He knew before any of us, didn't he? I mean, we had no idea.
You go out there, you know, he's always here a couple of days before, obviously you know, show up at the, you know, it's like the big deal. He's out there watching these matches on outside courts and stuff, trying to figure things out. Game point.
Yeah, Roddick.
And Roddick holds, so it's 3 games to 2, no breaks, not even close to 1 yet in this match. Andy Roddick with the lead, 3-2. And we often say that the first break is going to be fatal.
We don't always mean it, but we do now.
In this match.
Right.
In this match, yeah.
Love 50.
Oh, Gonzalez getting the break there, yeah. Spadia in trouble. Ljubicic on serve in the second.
15.
Magician Fabrice Santoro in the first.
Still out there grinding away, slicing, dicing, figuring out ways to win matches.
Not to mention that when Fabrice has only got to cover half the court in doubles, he is a real serious threat. 15-30. 2-3.
Variety from both players there. Right, that was a good. This one was a good one right here. He kept it low. He probably should have looked to move in and take that one out of the air, Roddick. Hit that ball as you're running backwards. That's tricky.
Ended up at the top spot in the world last year, Andy Roddick. This year, at this time of the year, he said, I'm more worried about trying to win tournaments and compete. Not much of a daily focus on that #1 thing now. Roger Federer's got pretty much a lock on #1 for the year, having won 2 slams.
I think that's part of the reason why Roddick also is, you know, matured a lot in the last year. He doesn't look at the big picture so much. He looks at, you know, day to day, taking care of his body, taking care of his preparation for each match. Play from Lopez again, using that serve to set things up.
Advantage, Lopez.
I mean, if you're looking at the big picture and you're Andy Roddick and you're looking ahead to this summer, you know, wait, I got some serious points to defend in Indianapolis, a win there, wins in Canada, wins in Cincinnati, U.S. Open. So you're better off not thinking about big picture there and just going match to match. And that's what Roddick did last week by winning Indy. Lopez with his second ace there.
3 apiece in the first set. Jeez, that's good defense.
Roddick went right down the middle with that overhead from the baseline. Lucas saving 2 set points in that first set so far against Henman.
That
translation, Cliff?
mala,
bad.
Yeah, not good.
Oh yeah, good 1-2 combo there.
Look at me always for these translations.
Yeah, you're the one who's worldly and everything. With it, you know it all.
Feliciano Lopez of Spain serving here to Andy Roddick. You know, Patrick, don't roll your eyes, but I'm going to talk about cricket for just a second. And this to me feels like a day of cricket because it starts early, it goes on all day. It lasts for a long time.
We're trying to get people to stay watching TV, Cliff. We want them to stay with the tennis.
Sometimes up to 5 days worth. But this is like one of those lazy days where there's a lot of action happening at this tennis tournament.
There's a lot of action in cricket.
Well, it lasts a long time.
Oh, okay.
So this is a day-long activity for viewers back home, 30-15 in this game. And I'm enjoying it. I'm inviting everybody to stay with us, enjoy a little coffee, and let this thing unfold in front of you. That is wide and is 30 all. And this would be a good time to perk up because there's a chance for Roddick.
Ooh, bad call going Lopez's way there. Shot spot says that was on the line.
Oh. 30-40.
Break point. First one of the day. Or in this match, I should say.
The second serve. Ooh, yeah, he's saying I stood back on the second serve way back, which is a play that I personally like. I'm not sure that you like it as much, Patrick, but and then he gets himself to the exact position that he wants to be and then ducks a very easy two-hand.
Well, he was trying to find the backhand of Lopez there, and normally you just roll that backhand cross court. And that's going into the strength of Lopez. Gonzalez wraps it up against Spadia.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
As he guides that one down the line, with another chance to break.
No, I don't mind the play of Roddick stepping back sometimes on the return of serve right here. Gets out of the way, but it really depends on who he's playing against, how their games match up. He's not worried about Lopez coming to net so much after the serve, particularly the second serve.
Way back again. He missed it.
Oh, boy.
Overhead goes wide, and Lopez has lost his serve. Roddick to serve for the first time.
Just made a mess out of this one, Lopez. A great forehand there to set it up. He really wasn't in great position.
No, he
with his
wasn't.
body. Look, he didn't really turn his upper body enough.
It's not easy to hit that overhead when you're still on the move.
And when you're moving forward,
Exactly.
it's tough. Just like that, Roddick looking to serve out the first set.
Lopez's family live in Madrid. He said that he moved to Barcelona when he was 14, and that's where he lives. But he goes to Madrid to see his family from time to time. Like after a tournament or on weekends. His dad was his first coach when he was 5 years old.
Fetch it up.
Kirtan with a first set over Tim Henman of England.
40 love.
Great serving from Roddick.
Set points for him now.
14 of 16 points for Roddick when he's gotten the first serve in. It's ace number 6. One bad swing from Lopez, and guess what? Set's over.
One overhead miss.
Yeah, right.
Sayonara. First set over.
Done here.
Roddick is not. He's won the first set against Lopez. Lopez serving. That's the ace. And that is 15. That was the first point of the second set. 15 love.
Late. First service.
Not as much as he used to interact with the crowd, Andy Roddick, but there's still an excitement about him, and there's an enthusiasm that's infectious. And he's the kind of guy you cannot ignore, Roddick. Agassi as well. But Roddick's up there with Agassi in that department.
When Agassi talked about in his press conference after his match today that
30-15.
like the ball was really moving quickly out there. We did mention that during the match. It looked like he was struggling with his tension. He did say that. He said it was much heavier conditions the other night when he played. And he said the guy just took it to me, and he said he was comfortable, and I never felt comfortable. And of course, the inevitable question came up to Agassi. Is this the last time, you know, we're going to be seeing you here? And he's pretty much getting that everywhere he goes.
Game.
As Lopez holds.
Talk about how Andy Roddick likes to share with the audience. Well, here he is on that activity of his.
I do what I do not really to get a reaction out of people. It just kind of happens, you know. And if people can take it for what it's for what it's worth, to be honest, you know, I've pretty much toned it down a lot, you know, over the last year, and I've been working on kind of trying to find a happy medium, because I'll always play with emotion. I always have since I've, you know, been 8 and 9 years old. But you know, sometimes I went overboard, and you know, I definitely have to kind of keep that middle ground in perspective.
I think for my money, I wish he wouldn't tone it down, Patrick. But I don't. What do you think?
Well, I think he's toned it down because I think it's helped his tennis, toning it down and not, you know, saving his energy. And it reminds me a lot of ways of Leighton Hewitt. I mean, he was a different type of, you know, real intense all the time. But he sort of, when he came out his first couple of years, and you know, you get to long matches and you lose some energy. But I still think that Roddick feeds off the crowd, and the crowd obviously likes that.
Do you think it keeps him loose? too?
Yeah, I think it does. And I think he still does it the right amount. I agree with him that I think he went a little overboard early in his career. And maybe he will here and there. I mean, he's still a kid. But I think the bottom line is he's about winning now. And I think he understands that it helps his performance to be a little more under control.
There's a time with Roddick when I had the feeling that he wasn't really sure whether he was that good.
Right. No, I think you're right. Yes.
But I think he knows
There's no
it now.
doubt now. Yeah.
I mean, am I really this good?
Little dinkum, little mini tennis action. Fun to see two big hitters up there at the net thinking the ball around. This time Roddick gets the better of that exchange.
Roddick.
Back to base number 8.
Roddick holds and not been in any real trouble on his own serve. Feliciano Lopez is from Spain. We mentioned 14 of the top 100 are from Spain. He says it's very nice for us because sometimes you're like thousands of kilometers away from home and you feel more comfortable with friends, and so it's nice to have the other guys on the tour, and they do hang out together, obviously.
15 now.
And the players in top 100, Spain leading the way with 14, U.S. and France with 10, Argentina with 9.
Spain, about a country of about, this is a guess, 30 to 40 million, as I remember. So USA nearly 10 times bigger. It says a lot for them. Of course, they got nice weather there already too. You got to remember that.
Here's another quiz for you, Cliff. Top 3 ranked southpaws in the ATP. Let me guess. One of them's Lopez.
You think?
Doesn't know the way the guy who puts our quizzes together thinks. You know, mindset. Too many lefties right up around the top of the game now.
It used to be more.
Yeah.
The day of Lever, Roach. There was a guy by the name John McEnroe.
Oh yeah, that's familiar. Look at that ball up the other line. Yeah, it was good. I like disappointed, but the correct call from the chair umpire.
John feel like being a lefty was a big help to him.
No, if he thought about it, but I think it
was.
It was, as far as the angles and
Lopez.
just the right-hander seeing something that they're really not used to seeing.
On serve in the second now.
15 now.
15 love to Andy Roddick. He's in front, or he's trailing in the second, but he's in front, having won the first set 6-3. Obviously, Lopez, like just about everybody else in this field, started playing tennis very young. He said, well, did you miss out on a teenage life because you started so young? He says, no, I like tennis and I enjoy being at the tournaments, and you know, with the Spanish guys, we go out together, we go to dinner, sometimes we go to discos.
It helped his girlfriend plays on the WTA tour too, Maria Sanchez Lorenzo, so just to see her at
so no, he didn't
Grand
miss
Slams.
out on the
Yeah. The love hold for Andy Roddick. And we talked about the return position of Andy Roddick and how he moves around. Look what he did yesterday against Beneteau. Guy not with such a big serve, a right-hander as well. Roddick taking almost all of the second serves, especially those are the black dots inside the baseline. Now today against Lopez, quite a different change in strategy. Lopez with a not bigger serve, obviously more kick on the serve, so that's Roddick changing it up, moving back mostly on that second serve, so really adjusting to his opponents.
Very, very interesting, as Sherlock Holmes would say. Reach and very smart, I think. And you think, Patrick, that is something that he and Coach Gilbert decide before they go out there?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely something that they talk about, and I think Roddick's now learning how to make those adjustments within the match. Or he has learned. Got a pretty good sense now of what's working for him. And Lopez making the adjustment there by swinging him out wide. Santoro with the win over Ljubicic. Santoro now moves on to take on Leighton Hewitt later today. Mind the players having played 2 matches today because of the rain out on Tuesday. All the second and third round matches will be played today and tonight. First double of the match from either player. A little lackadaisical there on that first volley from Lopez. Still has game point.
Lopez holds. We're on serve in the second. 3-2. First set to Andy Roddick, the number 2 seed in Canada. 3 games to 2 for Feliciano Lopez of Spain. But it's Roddick to serve. No breaks against Roddick's serve. 1 against Lopez as he bricked an overhead.
He did. Roddick served 7 times in the match. He's lost 5 points on his serve.
15.
Here we go. Here's that quiz again, Cliff. Top 3 ranked left-handed ATP players. We may have seen one earlier in the tournament as well. One of your favorites.
Would that be a Moroccan?
Yes. There they are. Kept you waiting long enough. I'll give it to you after this point.
I don't have 3. I don't have 3, so
We got Lopez. Verdasco. Ooh. Yeah, that's a new guy, a new kid on the block. And Arazi. Verdasco plays quite a bit of doubles with Lopez. 2 lefties from Spain. He lost a tough match to Moya in the opening round here. Another love hold for Andy Roddick as his camp looks on. Doug Spreen on the left and Brad Gilbert, coach and trainer.
Out.
Is that an overrule?
I think it was, yes.
Off.
Lopez had his injury problems with a wrist. He's a very wristy player with that left hand.
Next for service.
Long ago over that problem. So.
Lopez has to be careful. 3-4 in the first set. Then he played a couple of loose points, including bricking an overhead to give Roddick the break. .30 all second serve.
There it says Lopez.
Yeah, guessed right there, Lopez. Roddick knows he had some real estate down the line. In fact, he could have just poked it down the line. Good one there, and then he's got the option. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at that reaction from him. He says, oh, man. And Lopez says, thank you very much. Closes it out with another ace. Is 8. They both have 8. Lopez with the lead, 4-3, but we're on serve here in the second set. First set to Andy Roddick, the biggest event outside of the slams. It's very near my hometown. Roddick has got 3 of those.
3 shields right there. Those are the 3 Masters he's won.
Including this one.
And the one he's won this year was down in Miami, taking on Guillermo Coria in the final. And Coria got off to a pretty impressive start, moving Roddick around, using that drop shot effectively, wins the first set in the tiebreak. Roddick starts to use his bigger shots, more power, and his fitness level also playing a big part. Roddick wins a tight second set, 6-3, and then the problems started in the lower back for Coria. And then in the third set, he was really out of it. Loses the third, 6-1. This is best of 5 set final, and then he retires after losing that third set. Turned out he had some kidney stones.
Kidney stone, I think.
That's where I think that all stemmed from, the back pain he was having.
Federer leads the champions race, but Roddick is number 2. Coria not far behind him, and Moya closing in as well. Roddick has got a lot of points to defend.
Federer, in addition to winning 2 slams this year, the Australian and Wimbledon, has also won 2 Masters events. He won Hamburg on clay, where he beat Coria in the final. Coria had won Monte Carlo. And Federer also won earlier this year out at the Pacific Life Open in California.
Top 8 players qualify for the year-ending championship. Westside Tennis Club, Houston, Texas. Last year, Andre Agassi played in the championship match, losing to Roger Federer. This year, the champions list looks like this. Federer.
Pretty good list, huh?
Life, yeah.
I mean, Federer, Roddick, Coria, Moya, Federer. You got all the big boys winning the big titles. It's not always been the case, but in the men's game, you know, the best players now are these young guys, and they're all have come into their own the last 12, 18 months.
Even in the second set, 4 apiece.
Linesperson was in the wrong position there. That's just where the extra work, the off-court work that Roddick's been doing, the movement drills. The movement guy out in Northern California has been working with Roddick, an old friend of Brad Gilbert's, Mark Rabo, who actually worked with us on the Stanford tennis team and works with a lot of pro teams, including the Golden State Warriors.
15.
Working on a lot of those quick little foot drills with Roddick, and I think that's really paid off for him. His balance is better. And you know, he has that confidence, Cliff, to be able to run some balls down And that can really help things out for him. Crucial moments in matches.
30-15.
Yes, Patrick, that if we were to find a flaw, if there is a flaw in Roddick's game, movement may well have been one of those things. With his game, movement is not the main thing he needs, because he's got so much juice on the serve and the forehand.
They're in bed for their Roddick's girlfriend.
Happy with that one, Andy Roddick, but only been one breaker serve. Roddick will serve, and he hasn't been tested on his own serve yet here at the Tennis Masters Canada in Toronto. Feliciano Lopez in front in the second set. Roddick serving at 4-5. We're on serve.
Coverage of the Acura Classic starting tomorrow night. Tim Ryan and Mary Jo out there getting ready for that one.
Nice field of players they've got there.
We've had a couple of great events so far.
11 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN 2.
Plus 5 points on serve in the match so far. Andy Roddick.
Nope. Got too close to the net there.
It looked like he was avoiding hitting the net. Safe first volley. Look at this. Well, he got a little faked out there. He thought the slice was going down the line. Known for his quick hands at the net, Andy Roddick. Something that Lopez is going to look to develop more is try to come over that backhand. I mean, when he did there, boy, he hit it well. He's able to do it with a little more consistency.
Ooh, that sails long, and suddenly we got a set point here.
Talk about out of nowhere. Roddick is not losing points on his serve. And quickly as this happens, set point. Why would you take a huge cut at the return when you get to set point instead of just chipping that back and making...
Why would you change your game?
No, but he chips his return. He chips the return 80% of the time.
Then I don't know.
It's just sheer stupidity from Lopez. Especially when you know, I mean, Roddick's not that comfortable coming in. Make him come up with a volley. That you know he's comfortable coming up with. A couple of bombs.
A little hiccup in that game for Roddick, but because of the sheer stupidity. By the way, Patrick, I want to go back to something. It's 5-all here. Either I wasn't concentrating, or maybe
No,
producer was
that's
talking
not
about ear or
possible.
something. You were talking about Agassi interview after the match, and they asked him again, right, about
Well, they
whether
asked
he was
him
coming back. What did he say?
He said, well, you never know. He said, and someone said, were you getting tired of answering that? He says, yes, I am getting tired of answering. You know, the question, is this the last time we'll see you in whatever city we're in at that time? It's the last time we'll see you at this event. But Andre understands that that's just the deal. And, you know, people are interested in that, and people want to hear him respond to that. And
But there was no commitment either way.
no. I'll read it exactly verbatim what he said. After he said he pretty much got what he deserved in the match, someone said, Andre, might this be the last time we see you in Toronto? He said, it's always possible. It's 2 years away before we're back, so it's a long time. So next year, this event will be played in Montreal as the men and women switch off each year. And then they said, it seems like every time you make an exit at a tournament, good pick up there from Lopez, the question comes up, like, is this the last time we're going to see Andre Agassi? Andre said, yeah, I just had that question. No, I mean, it seems like every time you have to field that question, every time you make an exit, that this is the last time we're going to see Andre Agassi. And make an exit of the tournament that is coming up more and more often. Meaning the question, he said, yeah, it does happen a lot. He said, is it getting a little tiresome? Andre said, well, you know, listen, it's a question mark for me. I certainly understand it being a question mark for others. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be back. I never know if I'm going to come back. So it's part of what I have to deal with now.
They won sails, and it is Feliciano Lopez who maintains the lead in the second set. He's got 6 games to 5. No breaks of serve. A chance there for Lopez in the last serve game of Andy Roddick. Roddick
Set point, yeah.
winning the first set, just 1 break of serve. Andy Roddick will be Olympic Games and looking very much forward to that. Marty Fish as well, Vince Spadia, Taylor Dent. Fish and Dent both injured.
They're both pulled out here, so they're going to have to get themselves together. Cincinnati next week. But Bryan brothers in doubles, along with actually Roddick and Fish, will play as well. A big name showing up in Athens for the Olympics. The only really one missing is Leighton Hewitt, deciding not to play. Federer, Coria, Moya.
What reason did Hewitt give?
Hewitt just said he wasn't interested in playing and wanted to.
He's very interested in Davis Cup.
Yeah, he loves Davis Cup.
Federer Soderling, that was the first match here on this court.
Time.
Straight sets. Looked very good, clinically in the second set. Mirny struggled against Rishabh. Lost the first and then wins the next 2.
Mirny will take on Federer next. Moya winning over Bogomolov. Hernich, youngster from the Czech Republic, an easy win over Todd Reed, the Australian.
15 now.
Meltzer with that big upset over Agassi. Speaking of Leighton Hewitt, rolling over Novak. Hewitt will take on Fabrice Santoro next. Gonzalez, a winner over Spadia. 5-4.
40 love.
Impressive service game here.
Spadia's story continues to be alive. It's a great thing. The kid was down and out as a player. Down in the qualifying competition. Now he's right in the mix here in these Masters events. Huge comeback. So the guy goes, as Spadia does, as Roddick holds in the tiebreak going to decide the second set, from being out of it to being on the Olympic team.
Yeah, that was a great effort. Yeah, great effort by him. And fully earning and deserving his spot. Look at this tiebreak record for Andy Roddick, 26-6. Lopez 5-12. This boy's not wasting any time. Only an hour and 1 minute of play. Set and a tiebreak in the second.
Waste time, I must say. They get it over with in a hurry, and the points don't last long. That last point was longer by a long way than the average. Roddick, for example, 13 aces. A little murmur from the crowd when he hit that ball. Roddick, I thought it was going long.
Landed in. Yeah, a lot of
This one.
topspin on it. Inside the baseline. Takes care of the overhead comfortably. That's that slice return that Lopez has been hitting throughout most of the match. And still trying to figure out why he didn't try to play that back in that fashion when he had set point.
How far back Roddick is for this serve. And he moves even further back for the second serve. Missed it.
Wide, yep.
Mini break to Roddick.
3-1. Roddick.
It's a good tactical play there by Roddick. Lopez not sure about that call at all. What does shot spot say? Shot spot says, yeah, clearly wide. Making Lopez come up with a backhand pass under pressure in this tiebreak.
One thing that a big server wants and expects, because that's how it usually is to get a lot of free points on his serve. The one thing he doesn't want is to have to work on his serve. And so when Roddick stays that far back, that's what happens. He's got to work on it.
Out.
That's long. And Roddick gives the mini break back.
3-0.
And that was an overrule there from the chair.
No, the guy called it eventually.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, the lines person did. It was
Just
a little slow to call, but he did.
correct call.
Pascano Maria is in the chair.
Roddick.
Last time Roddick had a look at the forehand, he ripped it cross court. This time he goes with the percentage play down the line, but Lopez again reads it. And that ball just tails out.
5-4.
Serve there.
Good time for him too. That's his 9th, and it's 5-4 Lopez. He was down a mini break in this tie break.
130-mile-an-hour ace there from Lopez.
Andy handled the pressure serve.
Yeah, he's pointing down the line saying, looking up at his coach up there. The coach is like, yeah, I know you should have gone down the line with that.
5-0.
Good forehand there on the run, and then he read this one, and he just tried to get a little too cute. Look at that, no knee bend. Nice little scissor kick, though.
5 apiece.
Like his attitude out there, Lopez. He like the shot selection, though, 4 or 5 in the tiebreak.
No, 2 points later, he's at match point because of it. Back because he wants to get this back at all costs.
Again, for the match, Roddick. Sets still up, 6-3.
Fun ending to that match, wasn't it?
Yeah, very couple questionable decisions by Lopez, but Roddick again showing why he's so tough in the tie breaks. The big serve coming through for him, and some steady play off the ground, some opportunistic net approaches. So Roddick gets through, and he extremely happy to get through in straights because he's got to come back tonight and play his 3rd round match back on this stadium court here at the Rexall Center in Toronto, Canada. So Roddick will face the winner of Chela and Robredo, maybe another Spaniard if Robredo can get through against the Argentine, and Hernich, youngster from the Czech Republic, a winner. Henman Kirten still going on over on the grandstand.
Roddick still looking very strong out here, the number 2 seed and number 2 in the world. So Andy Roddick's hard court efforts continue here as he won in Indianapolis over Lopez today, straight sets. Andy, pretty, no, I couldn't call that routine exactly. You have to adjust your position for returning serve against a guy who serves that big, right?
Yeah, for sure. He serves huge, and obviously coming from the left side, it's a little bit more difficult, and he was able to hit all 4 serves kind of. So, you know, I definitely had to mix it up, and I was lucky to get 1 break and hold out in the 2nd.
Yeah, obviously you feel comfortable. I mean, we showed your tiebreak record, which is phenomenal this year. Is it just doing more of the same in the tiebreak for you, or do you try to do anything a little bit differently?
Not really, just more of the same. You know, those returns that I put in play at you know, 15-all in a service game. You know, maybe they think about it a little bit more at 3-all in a breaker. I just try to tighten up my game a little bit in breakers and hold my own serve.
So Andy, now you're a hill country boy again. You happy to be back in Austin, Texas?
Oh, it's beautiful there. I was just there for 10 days out on the boat, and it was fantastic. It was a needed break.
You miss Boca Raton?
I always miss Boca. I miss my friends in Boca Raton, that's for sure. My parents are still there, so we're going to have to try to convince them to move.
It looks like you'll be playing Chela next. He looks like he's about to put Robredo away. I know you've had a couple of good matches with him. What do you need to do well against that Argentine? I
got to play solid from the baseline. He really doesn't give you anything. He returns serve pretty well, and he doesn't make a lot of easy mistakes from the baseline. So you know, I'm going to have to play very clean tennis.
And there are a lot of points to defend here this time of the year. Obviously, you seem to be really good at taking just 1 match at a time. Any additional pressure because of that?
Not really. You know, last year was last year. You know, I'm looking more at the race than I am, you know, defending. And I'm not a big point counter. You know, I know last year was a great summer, but I'm gonna try my best to win matches this summer.
Well done, Andy.
Thank you.
Good luck tonight.
All right, guys.
Straight set winner Andy Roddick today here live in Toronto at the Tennis Masters Canada. We're going to take a break now. When we come back, a look at